Hey peeps, what's going on? Everybody, got my sweater going on here. Some people say that I look like the professor. I don't know. I think it may be the professor, like from Gilligan's Island or something like that. I don't know. Maybe, tell me, does the sweater and the glasses make me look more prestigious? I don't know that it does, but it could be. It could make me look more studious or prestigious, or I don't know. Anyhow, it's another day in the D today, and it's a great day. Every day is a great day when you put 2 feet, one foot in front of the other. When you wake up and your feet hit the ground, whatnot. Anyways, I want to put out a shout out to the place. I forget the name of the place, so here I am trying to give a shout out to a place. But I got this hat. Let me tell you about this hat, first of all. But before we get started, go ahead and mash that subscribe button. If you don't mind, just hitting that subscribe button. This is the daily vlog, Sean's Stories, where I tell you about a story or we talk about things, what's going on and whatnot. And, give you some insight about myself and what's going on for the day. Okay. So anyways, I got this hat. I really like this hat. I've been looking for another Operation Joint Endeavor hat. What the heck is Operation Joint Endeavor? Operation Joint Endeavor, when I was in the military in the 90s, was an operation that happened in Bosnia and Croatia, in the former Yugoslavia, and we were there in the peacekeeping mission underneath NATO. So I was there in the 90s in the U.S. Army and Operation Joint Endeavor, and you can go check it out. Go Google it. It's in the history on Google, and it was a peacekeeping mission. And while I was there, there was a plane there was a plane crash that was very sad. We lost Ron Brown, who was the Secretary of Commerce, and there was a conspiracy about that. And so there was a lot of stuff that went on while I was there. And anyways, so since I'm a veteran, you got hats for like the Gulf War, the Afghan War, the Korean War, the Vietnam War. I wasn't really in a war. I was there. They were warring. We were trying to be peacekeepers, maybe kind of like Vietnam. So I don't know if Vietnam was a war. And anyhow, this is what I'm saying. Is I finally found my Operation Joint Endeavor hat, the one I wanted, with my medals on it. That's the important thing. It has the medals on it. I have the NATO ribbon, the Armed Forces Service Medal, and then the Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal. That's right. 3 medals that I was awarded for being in Operation Joint Endeavor. And I like this. It's like a hat, they call it a patch hat. It's a hat with a patch. But I like it. It looks great. I love it. So I'm wearing that today. If you, one thing that happened this month, and it's every December, but it's been passed now for about 9 days. Earlier this month was Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. That was December the 7th, a day that we never forget. And so my heart still goes on December the 7th and around that time to all of our loved ones who lost their lives and also who didn't lose their lives and were involved in protecting Pearl Harbor. So, yeah. So, anyways, what is going on? Yeah. What is going on? Oh, so I wanted to talk today just a short bit about I had made a video previously in regards to my base that I was stationed at back in Germany, called Cambrai Fritz Concern. Now that concern, not a concern, but a concern, I think with a K, that used to be, it was called Cambrai Fritz, named after a World War II German Nazi general. It was their base first, before World War II. I think it was like 1936 or something like that when it was built. And we took it over as the United States when we took over Germany, and we took over the base there, Cambrai Fritz Kaserne, and we then had troops there. So I was stationed in Germany, in Darmstadt, Germany. This is where I'm talking about, Darmstadt, Germany, and I was stationed there for exactly 2 years. From I was there May 1990 to May 1992. And then I had come back there and visited again while I was still in the service. But I was with a really great group of people. I was there with the 440th Signal Battalion of the 22nd Signal Brigade. And our mission was to serve 5th Corps, which is a higher echelon unit in Europe that was decommissioned and then now recommissioned back. It has been now it's back they're back together, 5th Corps, and but the base people were there until 2007. That's when we gave the Germans back the base. And I have to say that I've always wanted to go back and go there again because I loved Germany. I don't know if I loved it as much as I loved being on the beach in Japan and Okinawa. But I liked the way that you could go to a lot of different places in Europe. It was easy to get around. You know, I had been to, Euro Disney before I had left. And I had been to all over the place in Germany. And it was a really good, I had a really great time. And so it's a remembrance place. But this last year, finally after 2007, so like 13 years later, the government of Darmstadt is finally, what they're finally doing is getting around to demolishing the base and building brand new stuff there. And so as part of what's going on is I've watched some videos and seen a lot of pictures where basically they have demolished everything there, and it's wonderful stuff. So yeah, it's really, really great. I have to say though that it is depressing to see the base be demolished. Now, they are not demolishing every single building on the base. They're saving 4 or 5, maybe 6 buildings. But the rest of it I've watched, and I've even seen a time lapse of everything being demolished, which was really saddening because I watched it the other day. But, somebody said something just the other day. It's not the buildings that are memorable. It is the time and the people that we were together with that make the memories. And that is completely true. That is completely true, that it is the people that make the memories. And I have to say, I was with really great people at that period of time that are still my friends and whatnot. And we have reunited on Facebook. So I have to say, I thank everybody for their relationships and whatnot from our unit that is so cohesive to find each other and still be friends and comrades, even 30 years later. 30 years later. Our building was demolished where I stayed at in May of 2020, which was exactly I got there in 1990, right? And 30 years later, they demolish the building. Exactly the same weekend, almost. The same week. I mean, wow, that's mind-boggling. That 30 years later, the place that you were at is gone. But I don't need to say that we just have to remember it's the good times with the great people and not the building. Yeah. Boom. I just blonked myself there. So, anyways, that's what's been going on. That's what's been in my head. That's what I've been thinking about. And it's crazy stuff. Anyhow, with that said, what else is going on? So, yeah. Been taking a lot of pictures. I have the new iPhone 12 Pro, not the Max. And I've taken some photos. Not a lot, since it's now the middle of December, almost the end of December. It's just the middle. And by the way, I do a lot of thinking about this too. I love sunsets. That's one thing I really love. But I also am just always fascinated with the time when the sun goes down, the twilight, and the sunset, and how it is that we move back our clocks and we put them forward, and then not everybody does this, but we we're falling back in the wintertime and we're springing ahead in the springtime, and the time changes. And anyways, so I posted online that tomorrow, which is the 17th, is the last shortest day of having sunlight in the year. And somebody said, "Oh, that's not true. That's the winter solstice, which is the 21st." Well, if you look at timeanddate.com, which is a website that I go to, you can find that tomorrow is the 17th, and the light, the sun, the time that the sun goes down, the sunset, is actually it starts back up of where we gain 1 minute or to 2 minutes each day. And by the end of January, I have found out that we actually are equal back to where November was. So there's this 2-month period of where, like, we don't have we're the only thing that's happening that's kind of weird. That's weird that I really can't figure out is, even though that we're gaining more sunlight in the afternoon, so meaning that now we're going to be gaining a minute. So like by the end of January, it's going to be like 5:30. It's still almost, it's still going to be, maybe it's more longer than that, but we're going to be gaining by 5:30 in January. At the end of January, we'll still have light, because that's when the sun will set, and then there's the next twilight, right? So meaning that but also what happens is that in the morning time, the sun coming up is later and later. So that means by in the springtime in March, when we say, you know what, we're springing ahead, what we're doing is we're saying we're going to make that sunlight that's at 8 o'clock, let's just say it's 8 o'clock in the morning, will start to be 7 o'clock in the morning. So we're bringing back all the light and readjusting it, because if we didn't, then the time that the sun comes up in the morning will be like almost 9 o'clock in the morning. And you're going to be like, really? Is that possible? It's 9 o'clock in the morning and the sun's just coming up? Well, instead, we push that back all the way back to almost to like 7. Because eventually what happens is as the summer goes on, the time that the sun rises actually gets earlier, and we still have that time at night, that sunset at night, that's still pushing out to later and later and later and later. So when I think about, should we really move our clocks back? Well, if we didn't move our clock, if we sprung ahead time, right? And moved our clocks. What I mean by springing ahead, and it's not falling back, but the springing ahead portion. If we didn't spring ahead, what would happen is that there would be some time that basically the sun would not rise till 9 o'clock in the morning, and it would really be kind of weird. Yeah, weird. And it would happen March or April. And then we would have to wait till like a couple of more months for things to get back to normal, like 7 to 7, 7 to 10, whatever it is. So that's all cool. It's all great. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it makes the day longer on both ends, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So I always think about those things in my head, and I don't know. It's just something. Maybe I'm getting old or something, but I think that it's just I think about that time. It's not like I'm over thinking it, am I? I don't know. So, yeah, so back to my phone. I'm digressing here. Back to my phone. The dealio is that the phone, I can't wait to take more pictures. Now, some of the pictures I take, I've got to tell you, with the iPhone 12, there is this crazy thing that happens that everybody knows about, but I think you can fix it and work on it. Not fix it, but basically you can this lens glare, it can be worked. You can work through that and fix it. You can really basically, if you're a good photographer and know what you're doing, you can change and work on that so that the lens glare is not a problem. It's the problem. The problem is, don't shoot photographs into the light. At the light. I think that's with everything. If you were to take a picture of a light bulb, you'd have this enormous overexposure. And I think that's the problem, is that the iPhone, if you pointed at something really bright, and it's you have to adjust your photograph so that when you're taking the picture, that portion of that photo where the lights are, you're going to have to dial it down. You have to dial down the exposure. And then later when you go in and do your photo, you can fix that problem. It's an exposure problem that is workable. So, and I think, but it also can present some really cool photos. I'm just saying. Anyways, so that's what I know about the iPhone 12 Pro. I cannot wait. I do like having the wide lens. I have to say, it takes awesome pictures in wide lens and gives you a really great field of view. That's really great. So anyhow, that's the few things that I wanted to talk about today. It is Wednesday. It's Hump Day, and anyways, I appreciate you guys coming here, and also I'm going to be putting out some more shorts, not my shorts, but short videos, and look for those. And thanks for subscribing. We're at 446 subscribers to our channel. If you're coming by and you're watching this and you're not subscribed, we ask you to subscribe. And hopefully you've hung in here for approximately almost 20 minutes. Okay, talk to you guys later. And for now, you know what time it is. Over and out.